Faith Family Culture with Luke and Susie. Luke, we're catching up with someone I always really enjoy chatting with. She just brings real gems of wisdom into the conversations that we have. Her name is Michelle Gibbings. She's the author of a book called Step Up. It's specifically a book that looks at your career. In fact, it looks at how to build your influence at work. But the principles that she talks about are so applicable to other areas of our life.
It's not to be mistaken for the exercise program of doing stair
Absolutely.
climbing. That's a different book.
Michelle, it's great to chat to you again. Thanks so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure.
Now, I jumped onto your website and this is a line that I read. It said, to stand out from the crowd and get the career you want, having the right technical skills isn't enough. Now, that's pretty confronting to somebody who's just spent a few years at university building up a CV to be able to go and get the job that they want. So what is it that they need if it's not the right technical skills?
Technical skills provide a foundation, but if you look at a career in its totality and people who move up through the ranks, they get stuff done. They're able to negotiate outcomes, they're able to influence other people, to reach agreements, and they're all softer skills, and they're often not the things that you learn when you're doing your technical qualifications. So understanding how an organisation works, who makes the decisions, what type of people you need to have in your network to be able to build the coalition that you need to be able to get things done. And it all comes down to understanding how to influence. And it's interesting because often when I use the word influence, people go, oh, that sounds really Machiavellian. That sounds like, you're having to manipulate people. And it's not about manipulation. It's absolutely done with the best intent to achieve the best outcomes for the people involved. But if you're not willing to step into the conversations you need to step into and you're not equipped to have those conversations, it becomes very hard to have a successful career.
So how do you learn those skills, though? Because that's still a skill.
You should buy my book and come to my course.
You're not the first guest. You're not the first guest to have thought that answer. But you're one of the first on our show to actually say it.
I was being slightly facetious. Look, it is interesting because I do say they're all learned skills, and it's interesting because often people will look at me and go, oh, Michelle, you're really confident, you know how to have the tough conversation. And I think it was all learned. I learned a lot by watching people around me. I also learned by doing a lot of study in terms of taking myself to courses and, not just courses that I paid for, but there's a lot of access to things now online that you don't need to pay for. So there are these things called MOOCs, Mass Online Open Courses. And it's amazing the array of information that you can get and knowledge that you can access where you don't need to pay for it. It just blows my mind. And as a person who loves learning, I always get very excited about that. But it's also getting comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, because often what happens is people get into an environment where they'll go, oh, I don't feel comfortable having that conversation, so they just don't do it. Or they'll go, oh, I'm not good at public speaking, or I'm not good at standing up in front of people, so they stop doing it. Whereas the only way to get better at it is to take yourself outside your comfort zone, get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, knowing that every time you're uncomfortable, you are learning something new, and that is a good thing for you. But I am absolutely of the mindset influencing skills are something that can be learned, but it comes through effort and practice.
As someone who's managed and employed, I feel like there is a whole bunch of people in the workforce that are looking to just do their job, and not in a bad way. They think that they're doing the right thing by their business and their boss to do their job and to do it right and to clock in and clock out in a way and they're just efficient and they get it done. The problem is that I never get any value from someone who just does their job. I get the value from the people who go, you know what, I'm going to do more than you ask me to. I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to do it better. And the times that I have emotionally felt value towards these people that go above and beyond, that step out, that lead, that influence, that do more than just the technical aspects of their job. But it's what everybody's looking for. But some of us are looking to be valued by doing the status quo minimum technical skills in a sense.
Yeah. And look, I always say to people, it's a choice in life as well, because if you just want to choose to come in and work 9 to 5 and just do the bare minimum, that's your choice. And with that choice, there may be consequences in that you may not advance through the ranks the way you would like to. So with every decision you make, there will be an outcome. So be happy with the choice that you make and then be happy with the outcome you get. And I often say to people, there's no rocket science sometimes to success. It does involve hard work. But you're making that choice with deliberate knowledge of the trade-offs, because, okay, if that means I need to work a bit harder, does that then mean I need to volunteer more for things, which means I take on extra work? If I take on extra work, that may mean I need to work extra hours occasionally. So there's always constant choices that you're making through your career. And I was having a conversation with an ex-colleague of mine yesterday, and she made some very deliberate choices at a stage in her career when she was having children, that she was going to take a step down on a role because she didn't want to travel anymore in her role. But she made it with her eyes wide open, and she knew that that then meant she'd take a lower role. But for the first couple of years of her children's life, that's what she wanted to do. And then she moved into another industry, and she's gone back up to that senior level that she was operating at. So it's those decisions you make, be conscious about them, because they're so pivotal to where your career lands.
Well, some
Excellent.
great advice. Michelle Gibbings, our guest, the author of Step Up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.